Valdez is an amazing guy, and that's why I brought him today and discuss some of his works. And I will ask him some questions, and you are welcome to ask him some questions.
I have lots of questions. I need my design. I need my website design, so I'm going to talk to you for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go show these pictures that we were looking for shortly. And it was actually some fun photos. I was celebrating the 1954 Supreme Court, I guess, right? Brown decision.
Yeah.
A call to action is what it was called, right? Celebration 1954 Supreme Court Brown decision, a call to action. I was actually in the house at the Thurgood Marshall building. Are you familiar with that building?
Yeah,
It's right across the street. We were in there having a wonderful time. It was food. It was good people. It was good conversation. It was called the Thurgood Marshall Center. They're doing some wonderful things over there. We want to give a shout out. We want you to support the center. It's very important. That was their call for action, so you can come out and get to know the center. This is right here in your backyard on U Street. I know
that's right.
you're familiar with this area here. They have a lot of different rooms. You can utilize it. And so they were just letting you know that the building is there. They're celebrating. There's a lot going on, from dance to theater to, you could even take computer classes in there. I mean, this is unbelievable. And this was my first time actually being in this area for a long time, however, actually going into the building. So I just want to give a shout out to all who attended. As you can see, all your friends over there as well. I don't know to name them all, so I'm going to keep the names out. I'll share it on social media so you'll get to see all the rest of the photos. But a big shout out to the Thurgood Marshall Center for having us there and representing and giving us some food and snacks. And the food was absolutely delicious. That's all I'm going to say. We had a wonderful time, and I have some footage, and like I said, I'll share that on social media as well. But in the meantime, we want to thank you for tuning in to listening to all my photos. Now we're going to hand the mic over to my friend here and to Tamrat. He's going to talk about a little bit about his guest.
Okay. As I mentioned in my introduction, David Valdez is an amazing web designer, and as it is researched that any successful web page will be in the front if it can bring in a very beautiful picture and a very good title, because people only spend 9 seconds at a time for any news. That's what's the purpose.
Is that right?
It is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And based on that concept, I presented to him, and he just designed an amazing web page. I've sent you something. It's called littleethiopia.org. Okay. And I'm going to go ask him some questions about, who he is and this and that, so other people understand who he is and also can give him business.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Here's my business. I'm ready.
Yeah. By the way, he's also from Alaska. Look, these are some of the designers. We put them on the webpage. Like when you see this one, you see exactly it gives you an image. A beautiful picture, a queen in the middle, wreath laying ceremonies, about 3 or 4 of them. Boom. So the next thing is you go to the next one.
Do you actually put that together, that collage?
Yeah, he put for me, not the collage, but he put the story on the webpage. That is a web design he created. This is the featured stories. Okay. You see, these are 3 queens in Ethiopia. One, the one on the left is the one right?
Yes, yes.
And the one in the middle is the famous Ethiopian empress who fought at the Battle of Adwa with her husband. She has her own battalion to fight the Italian. Mm-hmm. And the other one is another empress who played an important role. She introduced Ethiopia to the United States in 1919. She sent a delegate to the United States. And below on the left is the congresswoman, you know her.
Yes, absolutely.
So, right. And then in the middle is about some stories about Africa and the Queen. So this is the type of things he does. So we put this when we put it in the feature story, we put that all the time.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So tell us all about how you put it together and, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you. Very generous comments. And I can honestly tell you that the story is what intrigued me.
Okay.
The story of Ethiopia and Mr. Medhin's passion for his people and ultimately for his country was refreshing. And the history lesson that I got while I was designing this was amazing. I had no idea that Ethiopia is the only uncolonized country in all of Africa.
That's right.
And the fact that you have a great history with, Judaism. And the fact that the Ethiopians have this level of faith that sprouted from Judaism, where they actually believe that the Ark of the Covenant is located in Ethiopia.
Wow.
And when you think of King Solomon, his story, and Bathsheba, it's very probable. But as far as the design, any possibility of getting a live website, the live site up?
I'm not sure. Did you send that to them?
Yeah,
The reason I asked for the live site is just because Ethiopia is such a beautiful canvas to start with. I mean,
Okay.
their backdrop is amazing.
Your website, the website you're talking
Yep,
about?
the website that
Okay.
I designed for Mr. Medhin.
Yeah.
But Ethiopia as a country is so beautiful that
LittleEthiopia.org.
littleethiopia.org. Yes, sir. But Ethiopia has these dramatic landscapes, has this beautiful history, including architecture. Probably one of the first things that Mr. Medhin introduced to me was the Liberia, which is basically a church carved out of stone, which is fascinating.
Lalibela. It's called Lalibela.
Lalibala.
Lalibela, yeah.
Excuse me.
Alibaba.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lalibela, yeah.
See, I don't have the pronunciation down. It's coming. But when you saw their faith as far as building a church out of a mountain, out of a rock,
Okay.
was fascinating. And Mr. Medhin gave a history of what he's done here in Washington, D.C. for his people, which was basically able to influence through the community, ultimately getting visas for Ethiopians that were, I guess, facing exportation.
Deportation.
Deportation,
Yeah,
yes.
that is in 1981. We were at the risk of being deported, so we have to work with the Congress and the government, and we were able to be included on the Simpson-Mazzoli legalization bill that was signed by President Reagan in 1986. Yeah, that's right. Now you remember. You are
Yes.
you are
Good,
little
good.
watching the
Yes.
webpage. That's good. I like that.
You got to see what he's putting up
Yeah,
there, right?
I like
Yes.
that.
So when you get the gift of working with somebody who has a heart for his people, and ultimately has a knack for stories. If you look at Little Ethiopia,
That's a website right
that is a
there?
website.
Okay.
And
okay.
the nice thing is, it has a color to it that pretty much reflects Ethiopia.
Very beautiful,
There's a
isn't
lot
it?
of green. There's a lot of gold. There's a lot of nature in there. But the talent that Tamrat has is he has a knack for stories. He could literally make a news aggregate site that is appealing to not only Ethiopians but also to Washington D.C. I guess D.C.
Yeah. The
people.
diasporas are very much interested to know about it. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
And the fact that Washington D.C. is a sister city to Addis Ababa,
Yeah.
Tamrat's very proud of that.
Yes, yes.
And-
that website, you did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if you look at it, the stories and just the collage
You do.
of the stories it draws from
Okay.
is all Mr. Medhin's eye for stories, and ultimately a gift for getting readers' attention. I'm proud to say that LittleEthiopia.org has just under 300,000 unique visitors every month
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
to his webpage.
Yeah.
And if you look at the stories, there's no coincidence that a lot of it is news, what's going on in Ethiopia. A lot of it is pop culture. I mean, there's a lot of famous Ethiopians, and they're just busting the seams of everything they get into. I mean, movies, music. I mean, there's just a talent coming out of Ethiopia. And
was
Every
that
day,
the front page
every day,
you
yeah,
said
the
there?
featured page.
Yeah.
He developed a featured page for
Very
me
nice.
so that I can put the most important ones.
Right, of
Because I pick
course,
up
yeah.
daily for news, CNN, ABC, Voice of America, every media that writes about Ethiopia.
Wow.
Of course, including some of the events we do in Washington, ourselves. So we add that. In fact, we have a big event coming on Thursday, which I have invited both of you, but you are not in town. We have the celebration of the 54th anniversary of African unity, where the first 32 independent African nations signed the charter. So we have a big event coming up on Thursday. It's going to be held at the mansion, the Fraser Mansion.
Oh, that's gonna be
So it
very
starts by
nice.
6 o'clock. We have some Ethiopian food too. So
Okay.
everybody's invited.
Okay, we're excited.
Yeah.
We're excited. That's a very nice website. Absolutely stunning. Yeah.
And I want to say something. I have dealt with several web designers. I mean, they give you a certain amount of price, and they know they're gonna do it. But what really amazed me about this guy is he shows an interest. Sometimes I see him working on it like midnight or after midnight.
Oh, it's
I
a
mean,
lot of
he
work.
loves what
Yeah.
he's putting in. I mean, so
Wow.
that way it made things easier for me, and I love it. And he makes
Right.
suggestions. I mean, literally, I just met him and showed him an old one. He said, "Wait a minute," and it took him a few weeks, and he came up with an amazing design. That's
so
it.
tell me how I know I do a lot of designing on my own personal website, actually building my WordPress site.
No, you
right?
need him now.
And so I wanted to show a little bit. Can you show? I sent you an email, sir. I sent you an email with my website. I want to show you, and I want to see how
Yeah.
you did hers versus how I'm doing mine. And to see, I'd like to add to that website as well. And so, can you take a website the way you have his, and instead of pulling all the stuff and throwing it out, you have to start from scratch, or you can use what you have? Because I know that's a lot of people, they have that question, right?
It is. I guess it depends upon the design.
Okay.
And there's a design component where you do want to capture, as Mr. Medhin mentioned, you got 9 seconds to capture someone's attention.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of that occurs with that featured post
Right.
that Tamrat talked about. We have 6 featured stories, but also starts with just the beauty of the landscape of Ethiopia,
Right,
the
I
logo.
like that, I like that,
Came up
yeah.
with a great circular logo for that.
Okay.
It was square. We got him.
Okay.
We got him. Whole 360.
It's very famous.
And then so
That's
this
very
little Ethiopia
nice.
logo. What's
Well,
the
this
next
is,
component?
and I'm going to come back to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I created this logo, and if you could just hit the browse button, if you don't mind. Yeah. And hit the browse on there. I just want to show you some mines. So I do lots of events, right? So
Okay.
it's it's himself, right? See, and you do a lot. You show the video clips.
Yes, yes,
you talk
yeah.
about, and he's a writer. So as a writer,
I'm not a
you-
writer. I just
Oh,
started by
you
I'm
just
nothing.
started?
I'm an engineer
So
by
if you can
profession.
browse
I'm an
down
engineer
a
by
little
profession.
bit.
That is just an
You do-
interest. Just
so
I
as
mean,
you can
but,
see,
yeah,
I
yeah.
talk about my stories are a little bit about what's going on in the DC area, and I talk a little bit about
Yeah.
it. And the same thing, similar, what he does is he hears something and he talks about it. So how you see mine, I just kind of have them grouped there. How you have yours, it's like scroll down and it's action, it's moving, and it feels like it's more engaging. Mine is just showing you the photos on this page, right? And it just gives you a synopsis of what's going on. Whereas yours is, it talks about, the story in there.
Yeah. Yeah, mind you,
So I kinda
my
like
case,
that,
in my case, a bit
yeah.
different because I get the news. from all
Ah,
sides. You
see.
For instance, if
see.
CNN says something, for instance, I put something right now. I put
Okay.
something of President Trump.
Okay.
Because right now he's the president of the United States. I make sure that I put some stories about him because to
Okay.
show in what year we are. Otherwise we
have
are
to
what we
show
are.
it, right,
And another
right.
beautiful thing which I noticed was in my reading a couple of days that in Saudi Arabia, the Saudis have put a picture of former President of Roosevelt meeting the king of Saudi Arabia. That was very interesting. I'm going to make a
That's-
story
yeah,
about it. You know
you
why I'm going to
should,
make it a
right,
story? Because
why?
at that time, there were 3 people the president met. One of them was Emperor Haile Selassie and the Egyptian king. That's historical. I think the Saudis did an amazing an amazing picture, to welcome him. So it's very interesting. I found it too. So I will make it a story in a couple of them. I have already started drafting it. So what we are trying to do is, you see, the general public, generally pick up stories from here and there, but not target to certain group.
Right.
The Ethiopians are very huge in this country, number-wise, and also they have created their own subset. For instance, you go in the Washington Metro, that they say there are about 200,000. There are events, and it's completely out of the American society. They have their own music, they have their own restaurant, they have their own church. There are about 20 churches, and anyway, there are also some of the political problems. There it is. So these type of things are very good. And the fact that I got this gentleman to bring all this cream out helps me a lot. You see, that's
yes.
it. That's what I'm very appreciative. Now, this week I could not find him for a week.
how
I
did
was
you
scared.
find
I was
him?
scared. I was calling him and finally I said, "Are you all right?" Because I'm very much concerned now.
So that was nice that you were able to come on to
Yeah.
the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And
So is that what you do? That's your profession, or that's your side job, or what?
it's a special interest that I take in as far as when I owned my own business. I did all my own advertising, all my own digital copies,
Okay.
and I actually took web designing in college.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, but right now, I enjoy the process. I enjoy the design. phase. I enjoy working with talented people, and
Of
that was
course.
I love
You
the
get to see a
colors.
lot.
I love those colors of your
hers?
site. Yours.
Oh, well, that's actually...
the purple and gold. I
Oh,
love
isn't
that.
that because
Yeah.
it pops in your face,
Yes.
right? But it's staying still. I need to be more engaged. Like
Yeah.
yours is like
Yeah.
action, it's moving. And
We'll
it
talk.
looks
We'll sit
like
down
it
and
anyway.
talk with you.
So
No
we
problem.
gotta
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta do it
yeah.
for you.
I actually have another site. I sent it to him. I wanted to show you that one as well. Can you show the other side too? I just sent you, and that's a little bit more engaging, right?
Yeah.
I want it to look like his. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
really good.
exactly.
Yeah,
He
so
can
we're gonna-
create something great for you. No problem.
Yeah, I think that the logo that you had,
This is
including the
mine
colors.
too.
the-
So if you pull up a little bit and go to the bottom, it's engaging, but it's all the way at the bottom. It shows you and it's moving, and you have pictures, and that's my second website too. So this is something that took me hours and days and weeks and months, and you can see a year probably. And it's engaged. It's more engaging. So you can see on the bottom, it's more. It shows you what I do, and a little bit tells you my photos, and it's similar to yours, except yours go down. I guess I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure. I was trying to look at it a little bit, but you see, this is a little bit more engaging. It tells you a little bit about what I'm doing. So that's what I'm trying to do with my website.
Yeah, I think the colors and your logo was very impactful.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's definitely a sense of something special when you come in here, And I've seen the show on the internet.
Okay.
when
Oh, you saw the
Miss-
show?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
when Miss
Okay.
Medhin,
Yeah.
and the fact that you have a community-based program, not only for culture but also for local artists.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
so the
yeah.
artist is what the DC is about. This magical place.
As you can see you see how it's engaged a little bit, right?
Yeah, it is.
But this page is going away. Like this website here is going away. So I need to create another website. This is like a GoDaddy
I
site.
got you the right guy right here.
Ah!
So no problem. You
But
got
I want to
it.
keep
yeah.
my photos. I love the
Yes,
photos.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's
He
very,
can do. I mean, he
you know.
can do an amazing job. Yeah.
So I need
by
it
the
to
way,
look like that. I just need to reproduce
by
it.
the way, you just mentioned
Yeah.
about the Jewish, and this morning there was a film show called Ethiopian used to be screened at Washington Jewish Film Festival. I invited
Okay.
the director to come here, but he just texted me that he could not finish because they are doing question and answer.
Oh,
They had
okay.
one in
Wow.
Silver Spring today.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
He
that-
couldn't come. Is
he
that
couldn't,
where
but look
our
at it.
queen is? Is that where
Yes.
she's at today? Oh,
Yeah.
she's supposed to be here today, right?
Well, yeah.
Women,
I was
yes.
actually giving her a photo shoot today,
Yeah,
Ashley,
yeah,
by the way,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So I mean, it's
wonderful.
amazing. There is a lot of activities. You see, one of the greatest things that is Ethiopia is known is that in the past the monarchs were able to have a community based that includes Ethiopian Christian, Jews, and Muslims. So the recent there's a lot of information, especially the last week. If you see on the media, there is a lot of talk about Ethiopian one group being attacked and this and that. That was coming now, but when at the time of the monarch, those issues were not didn't come because there was unity under the monarchy. But now, after the political situation, after the communists took over in 1975, and that's why I came to United States, a refugee from Moscow, is that and. That is now changing. So you see a lot of historical things, and the younger generation, the others, are really very much interested to know more about it. And when you presented them like beautifully as he did, it's amazing. That's what you can do for your webpage too.
No, I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if you can give us your information, so people can call you, and in the future.
Absolutely. David Valdez, my number is 703-839-5278.
Okay.
And my email address is davidvaldezmd@gmail.com.
And you're from the D.C. area as well?
I live in Nova, Northern Virginia.
Yeah. He lives in McLean, and he works in Maryland, right?
I do. I work in Silver Spring.
But he lives in McLean. Yeah.
Okay, I'm familiar with the area. Absolutely, yeah.
He's easily available. You can get him.
Okay, wonderful. We'll have to definitely get you soon to actually talk a little bit about more and to show me how to, to redesign and to make it a little bit more appealing.
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
One thing that brought
Is
Tamrat and I
difficult,
together
is-
was this website that I was looking at when I was at Starbucks. It was called Mediaite.com.
Okay.
Mediaite.com. He says, "What is it that you're looking at?" I showed him the site, and I told him just the formatting and the fact that they aggregate stories that are typically political, but also they have some pop and culture in there too. But for the most part, just the design. That's what got me interested in setting that up as far as a featured post was Mediaite.com. It's a great site. They have video. They have pop culture, news, political. And so it's
So what do you, I don't mean to get in your business, but what is the average rate going for a website design?
We can't tell you that online.
Oh, you cannot. Okay, I was just,
can't.
not you, for you, I'm just saying.
No, I
you know,
wouldn't suggest him to say that. Let him do it.
Every site is designed differently, and they
Yeah,
start out at
because
5,000, right? No, I'm just kidding, right? I don't know. I'm just messing with him.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you go to his website, I'm sure that it's a little bit. Everybody's tailored a little different depending on what you want, right?
Absolutely.
Because I use WordPress too.
Well, you are the customer, and that's the thing. But also, I hope to interject, a level of something that is appealing to your audience, but also keeps them there.
Okay.
And if we could find that formula where your unique visitors to your site are going up every month, and they're drawn to the buzz of what's going on.
Is that the stat? What it's called,
yeah.
the stat?
Yeah.
I got the stat going, but I don't have it connected correctly because I keep getting 0, and that's definitely incorrect.
Absolutely.
That I can
believe
definitely attest to. So I mean, I set it up, but I guess I didn't finish whatever it is I needed to finish. I'm sure that's what it was.
Well, the key thing, I have dealt with so many people. Everybody will tell you, well, the moment you want to do some web page, they will tell you everybody does it, but it's not the same,
No, every design is different.
Some also,
right.
you see that some of them on the media, they advertise. There are a lot of good people, but there are also some people who I paid several times and lost it.
I'm sure.
But the key
I'm
is
sure.
getting somebody referred to you is a key. Because
Right.
I'm 100% happy with him. It's almost a year.
And you can find him all the
he's
time,
available
you need
in that.
something
No,
changed,
even if I can get him, the only time I
yes.
could not get him was this week. But in
Okay.
general, I'll find if I don't get him, if somebody answers me in a couple of days, I'm okay because I see people are busy. It's
Right.
okay, I understand.
Right.
Yeah, I
But
literally
as far
just moved from the rough and tumble streets of Columbia, Maryland,
Oh.
down to the rough and tumble streets of McLean, Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love Columbia, Maryland. I love McLean
do
too, right?
Yeah,
when
they're
you-
both great places.
Yeah, so when you say rough and tumble, what do you mean?
That's a joke.
Oh.
That's a joke.
I just know there's a vault going through there in Columbia, the earthquake, and that's why I didn't move over there.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Yeah. Do you know there's a little
That's
line
interesting.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't move there. But I would have moved there. I would have had a whole different, change and I don't even know where I would have ended up. I just know that I'm on this part of town now.
So you're earthquake adverse.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're adverse to
yeah.
earthquakes. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have, you have a place where to start. You can see my webpage, you can see it, and you can sit down and talk to him. He will tell you different kind of designs,
Right.
and it goes from there. But web pages are very important now.
Oh, it is.
Very
It
important.
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
people-
Yeah.
Right now, I'm getting a lot of hits on that, and
So is
especially
it a new
organization.
website? Is this new?
Well, the name is the same, but
Okay.
it's a new website. Yes, he did a new
I
website.
see.
But
Well,
we
I
are
can-
putting the other in archive. I remember we have to do that.
Yeah, and one other component of this, it shows well on mobile. And that's the component.
Yes.
Mobile is actually larger than desktops these days.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so it can
so-
go here too.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
and,
Oh,
and
it's
so
an
it
app. Oh,
shows
very
extreme,
nice,
not necessarily
yeah.
an app, but the design shows well in a
Oh,
mobile
mobile.
format.
Yeah, like the same one I have too as well. It does
Yeah,
similar
yeah,
as
right,
well.
yes.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we showed it earlier. I can't
Yeah.
look at it right now.
And
because,
also for our agenda now, you see, for our agenda, what we are
call
doing
it
right
out.
now is to encourage the Ethiopians to be forward. Like that's why I put most of the celebrities,
Right.
So the younger ones will follow that.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Well, we want to thank both of you, of course. Thank you all the time for coming on because he's always on, right? But thank your guest for joining us today.
thank
It was
you for having
wonderful
me
to
on.
have you.
We'll bring him
Yes.
another time. Well.
And we'll bring you another time. We'll kind of get a little more in detailed
yeah.
about the web design and stuff like that, and have a little, I guess, how you say, we could show a little bit of what you do, so you can explain to somebody how you work with them on
Okay.
putting it together a little bit more engaging. Pull up a
Okay.
website, show them a little bit of what they can do, so they can have some ideas. That would be good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah, wouldn't that be good? Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it'd
as
be
if
good,
you
yeah.
were sitting here communicating. But anyway, we want to thank you for listening in today at Listen Vision Radio. Patricia McDougall on scene, and tune in weekly at 2:00 with our friend here, Tamrat.
And check us on Thursday, littleethiopia.org. There will be an event on Thursday for the 54th anniversary of the African Union. And this is Tamrat Medhin from Little Ethiopia.
Yes, he is. Patricia McDougall on the scene. Thank you.
Thank you.